welcome back to Berlin, Germany, where Misfits grabbed the first win of the season against Astralis, and I have Shlatan with me to talk about this victory. Hi Shlatan, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the LEC. What do you think about your debuts today?
Hello. What did I think about my first LEC game? I don't feel good about it.
Oh.
I feel pretty bad, yeah. I mean, the game wasn't maybe that bad early game, but in teamfights I played really bad, so not really happy about it, yeah. I hope I can play better other games.
Still, a win is a win, and you have 2 more games to go during this LEC Super Week. Before the game, we were talking about Misfits as an organization and their ability to help rookies and promote them to the main lineup. Could you tell me more about the Misfits environment and how they set you up for success?
We have like really big staff that is helping us with everything. We have like people helping us with like sports, like I don't know, like telling us to go gym, I guess, and stuff like this. So yeah, we have like really big stuff helping us with everything.
Well, I have to say I'm really happy to see you in the LEC because I had time to see you in the LFL last year. So tell me, what is the main difference in terms of schedule, training, and everything between the LFL and the LEC now?
I mean, it's like more serious here for sure. Before I was just playing like from my home, or like even if I was playing in the teams in gaming house, I was like more chilling than here. Here I'm like tryharding more, and it feels like it's serious, you know. And about like the other differences, I guess scrims are also higher level, and you can get more like from the reviews as well. Just feels more professional than ERL.
All right. Well, it is the biggest league, actually, so that makes sense. Last question for you, Shlatan. What are you looking forward to the most into this LEC year and this new challenge for you?
What am I looking? I mean, just to like enjoy and just play better with every game, play the best as I can, and have fun. Any
jungler you're looking forward to facing in particular, maybe?
Selfmade and Jankos. I would love to play against his pirate, but since he moved already to NA, to a better place, then I can't play against him. But yeah, Jankos and Selfmade.
All right. Well, we'll be looking at these matchups also. Shlatan, thank you so much for the interview. Good luck on the games tomorrow, and again, welcome to the LEC.
Thank you very much. Bye.
And for more on the last game of the day, BDS Fnatic, let's send it over to Trevor.
Thank you so much, Laure. Congratulations to Misfits. As we turn our attention to the newest organization to join the league, is there a better way for Team BDS to start their journey in the LEC, facing the 7-time champion Fnatic and the current fan favorites to win Spring?
I could think of 9 better reasons.
What a great position to be in. Yeah, his math sucks. It's 8 other teams. But anyways, so for that, you will be punished, and I will turn to Trouble. Tell me a little bit about BDS. We mentioned in Ready Check that they do have 3 members from one of the most recent Common Core, but of course a 4th from older times. So this is the closest we'll get to seeing KC in the league, and it is an LFL organization.
Absolutely. It was requested by the fans that Karmakov do join the LEC, and they have joined in the form of BDS. Of course, ex-Karmakov player Adam won the EU Masters with xMatty and Cinkrof back in summer 2021, moved into the LEC, and then Cinkrof and xMatty proceeded to win yet another EU Masters title. So all in all, this BDS roster has 5 EU Masters titles just in 2021. Plus, we have to mention NUCLEARINT was playing for KC back then together with Adam. So the mid-top synergy is there. The top jungle bot synergy is there as well. And of course, Limit, who was part of the Schalke lineup in the previous season, joining them as well, somebody with a lot of experience. I think it speaks for itself that these guys will gel together because they have been teammates before and they have been successful at winning games.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about the kind of style they're going to be bringing in terms of playstyle. Because for Adam last year on Fnatic, it was very much that, okay, I'm not doing much up in the top side, I'm surviving, and all my resources are going down to the bottom lane of Hylissang of Offset. But if we take it back to the K-Cup days, it was actually the other way around. Adam was the kind of guy that was facilitated all the time with Cinkrof, with Takema's roaming up. Granted, he does no longer have Takema's, but Cinkrof is back. So now you have your comfort jungler who is always behind your back, ready to shadow you, ready to come in with a gank. So I'm kind of theorizing that BDS will be a more solo lane focused team, at least for the early stages where they're putting their attention, because that's what we saw in the past for them when they were so successful on K-Corp.
Well, we'll have to find out how they do perform and how they play. And I just want to add on to you talking about the EU Masters titles the players have. Don't forget that Grabs is coaching this team. Unfortunately, one of the interviews wasn't able to be put on air, but he talked a little bit about how Grabs is telling his players to play aggressively. Let me see whether they can against Fnatic. As we turn our attention to the team that is currently expected to go very far in spring. As a quick summary for 2021, Fnatic struggled a little bit during the spring season. They had a very strong summer. And after those roster changes started to work out for them, their performance stepped up. It was unfortunate to see that Upset was unable to perform at the World Championships. We touched on that earlier during the course of Radio Check. With 2021 now rounded out, looking at the roster changes coming into this year and the huge expectations on this team, where do we start? My eyes have to be on Humanoid in terms of the impact he can have for Fnatic.
Yeah, I think once again, stylistics of a team, right? Humanoid, the best laner we had in Europe in 2021. And when you have the best laner that's always able to get you priority, whether you want to move up to the top side, but let's be real, it's Fnatic, you want to move down to the bottom side here. That opens up a lot of ways for Upset and Hylissang to suddenly excel more of this pressure that it had in the past. Because once again, what's that? Changes to teleport as well. You can no longer TP down to the bot side. That creates a lot of space for a guy like Upset, and especially Hylissang, that likes to flip his moments a little bit. It creates a little bit of a window where you have an extra overextension to pile on top.
So here's the thing. Remember that thing about Hylissang being an inter and a hero, and it's whether his team follows him or not. Now he doesn't care what his team following him or not, because this is the best bot in the West, baby. They can take control of that 2v2 on their own. This is why I think that this Fnatic roster in this particular meta that is so bot-centric is going to succeed. It's due to succeed. Hylissang doesn't necessarily have to make the extra mile to go over into another lane. He can just focus on playing together with Upset, and I think they're a very, very, very deadly duo.
And I think very crucial to call out and address that, of course, Wunder in the top lane, Razork in the jungle. These are two players that are expected to perform well, have shown how good they can be, Wunder especially over the years. But we do need to see how the synergy works together. And just earlier today, fan favorites Vitality, they were supposed to win, and it didn't go according to plan, Goldborg.
No, it definitely didn't. And I think as well, now with Razork coming in, it's about raising these puzzle pieces again. So many times he's been the rookie to watch. Yeah. Now with the laners around him, it's up for himself to display that he earns that title, right?
Well, we'll find out if they can. Earlier today, a fan favorite for finals fell, and it's time for Fnatic to fight for the first time in 2022, taking their first step to finals for their faithful fans. Woo! I love this job.
There's a no. Yeah, that's what I was like, do I even reference the F? Do I even go?
Do I?
No, I don't think so.
It's
Not on the
first day. It's day one. Yeah, we only get like, we get one per split. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
this wasn't a worthy moment.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It's true. Right, welcome back. We are about ready for our final game of day one of the LEC Spring 2022, and it is between none other than Fnatic and BDS. It is the rematch of Wunder and Adam. It is. There are so many stories, so many tales.
Yep. Adam versus his former team, of course.
Yep. Wunder versus the coach that never gave him a good draft.
Yep.
Now he's playing against those drafts.
Oh, that wasn't the tale I was going to... Wunder versus his old coach I would give you. Like the guy that took him to an MSI title.
No, but they were very specific about the drafts. You know what I mean? They were oddly specific all the time. And now this is his opportunity to go against him. But wow, the Adam versus Wunder storyline, though, is great because obviously the last time they met, Adam picked Darius and solo killed Wunder a bunch of times, and Adam also knocked Wunder out of going to Worlds.
Yep.
And now Adam's on a new team. Wunder has taken his place. It's going to be a banger to round out day one. Fnatic versus BDS. BDS, of course, the newest organization joining the LEC. It's going to be a good one. And for those that keep up to date with all things European, you may recognize a lot of the names on BDS from Carmine Corp, right? Adam was a member at the beginning of last year. Cinkrof and xMatty as well, both key members of that roster's success last year. They are back-to-back champions of the EU Masters. Of course, Adam joining alongside Fnatic, but these players have all achieved a lot in a very short space of time, especially when working together.
Yeah, and then you look at the other side, you've got Fnatic, Wunder, He's won a ton of LEC titles. Humanoid has 2 LEC titles. Hylissang has LEC titles. Upset and Razork have not got any LEC titles, but maybe eventually they'll get some.
But they're also just very good.
Yeah,
when you think
exactly,
about Razork, he was a core part of what made Misfits extremely good. And Upset is Upset. Many considered him to be the best performing AD carry last split.
He was the best performing AD carry until Worlds, I think. And then Han Summer was probably the best European AD carry.
I was more on the Han Summer hype train, but like, I mean, I was.
Retrospective analysis going on here,
okay,
Vedius.
we're not going to get into that. Point is, Upset is very good, okay? And I know that many fans have been wanting to see him play because we did not get to see him play at the World Championship last year. So, jumping into the draft, let's have a look to see if anything crazy has come up. In terms of the bans, very standard. Fnatic going to prioritize themselves the Zhao for Razork. He does love those aggressive junglers that can look to be impactful in the early game. Meanwhile, BDS going to answer with a very powerful 2v2 in the bot lane. We've already seen the Lucian Nami come out earlier in the day, and BDS want to grab that early on in the draft.
Of course, Fnatic have a few options here. Could pick something like the Yuumi for for Hylissang down towards the bottom lane. Could pick something like the TF as well. Humanoid's Twisted Fate.
And of course, a Fnatic Twisted Fate, right? When we think about Fnatic, last split when Niski was a core part of the roster, it was his Twisted Fate that you just couldn't afford to give him, and how well he was able to play through the bot side of the map. And with the TP changes, I think globals like Twisted Fate, like Rise, can be very influential because of how much harder they are to answer due to the lack of TP in the early game. So we'll see if Fnatic can play around their bot side of the map, or if that is even their plan. Now, how will BDS round things out? It looks like that they're going to go for Viego in the jungle. Pretty standard, nothing too surprising there. Pretty well-rounded and fits into the majority of comps that we see in the current meta.
It means we don't have support yet or top lane from Fnatic. Top lane still missing alongside mid lane for BDS. Expectations are that BDS will want to remove some of Hylissang's strong champions. The Pike, of course, a nod to him. Alongside that, I wonder if you want to remove something that has a bit of long-range engage. Hylissang obviously very well known for his Rakan.
Yes, it was. It's Hilly's Rakan.
Yeah.
You know, if when in doubt, lock in Rakan. It's something that he will find creative flanks on. He is the. I think he's the only. Well, saying the only is probably a bit ambitious, but he's one of the few Ignite, Exhaust Rakan players out there.
Yeah. I mean, he played against it originally. Life, I remember.
Yes.
Was it on Gen G?
I can't remember.
Life was playing against them, and they absolutely destroyed the fact that this Rakan had gone Ignite Exhaust. And then Hylissang was like, I can do that better than you can, and started doing it. Nautilus taken away from Hylissang. Seems like Nautilus is a high priority support here in Europe.
It's a very Europe thing, yeah. European supports, they love their engaged supports. Of course, we are still seeing the Nami come through. I wonder if we'll see a Lulu answer as Orianna and Sylas are taken away from NUCLEARINT. The Sylas, a very common answer into things like the Twisted Fate because of your ability to steal the Twisted Fate ultimate, along with the Orianna just being a very strong lane matchup with your ability to bully and kind of make it harder for the TF to roam. But LeBlanc going to do a very similar thing. Stronger in a side lane later on into the game. Can offer a lot in terms of the laning phase, but we know that when Humanoid was on the Mad Lions, this was something they would actively pick into LeBlanc, and something that Humanoid was readily willing and able to play into this matchup. So seeing this LeBlanc, Humanoid probably isn't too worried.
I wouldn't be. Humanoid the best mid laner in Europe last year, bar none. And alongside him, he's going to have Jhin Rakan in the bottom lane, Upset and Hylissang. Handling 2 champions that they're very comfortable on from last year. Now, Wunder has to pick blind, of course. There are so many stories in this game, and I think Wunder moving to the second most decorated team from the most decorated team in Europe has to be one of those. He's going to pick up the Gwen, and after having a disappointing 2021, a lot of people think he's going to come with a renewed fire to prove himself. And who better to prove himself against than Adam, who went 7-2-7 against him last time the two guys met. And it was on this very champ that Adam did it. Smiles all round.
He locked it in. He's locked in the Darius. Oh my word. We are going to get the rematch. Adam on his staple champion on the Darius will be playing into Wunder's Gwen. Oh, I don't suppose you know off the top of your head the number of times he was solo killed last time. I want to say it was like 2.
Oi, Marcus, our wonderful stats guy. Can you check how many solo kills there were for Adam in that game?
It was at least 2. It might have even been 3.
I feel it was 3, but I'm not.
But
I'm not going to promise you.
It was a one-sided affair. Adam absolutely stomped Wunder, and it was an incredibly one-sided game in favor of Fnatic back then. But the tables have turned. The rosters are different, but Adam still stays the same. He is a confident young man, and he wants to prove himself in the LEC and prove that along with former teammates, he can compete with the best.
Definitely, and obviously there was a lot of drama in the off-season, and now all those words come to nothing. It comes to what you can prove on the Rift, what you can do against one of the favorites, perhaps the favorite to win LEC Spring. Fnatic versus BDS up next. Back onto Summoner's Rift we go. Now Vedi, Marcus, wonderful, Speedy. Oh, okay, I was wondering why we were playing music, but I remember that Viego exists. Marcus, wonderful, Speedy, statistician, backstage has informed me of how many solo kills there were. Now, I will give you a bit of trivia and you can try and work out.
Okay, sure,
It's as many solo kills as Wunder had kills in the game for Adam. So Adam had as many solo kills in his 7-2-7 scoreline as Wunder had kills.
Was it 3?
It was 2. You were close.
Well, my initial interpretation was I think it was 2, it might have been 3.
Yeah, and then I said I think it was 3 and you trusted me, and that's where your mistake lies.
We need to just stop trusting each other,
Exactly.
Medic. Right, so let's have a look. Is there any early game shenanigans? Both teams have placed wards in exactly the same place on both sides of the map. Fnatic currently sitting in the bush. Don't want to give away their position just yet. Hylissang and Upset will walk over it. This will suggest, at the very least... Oh, they're going to clear that one out. Okay, then. So, it doesn't look like any leash has been given, but of course, look at that. Wunder's immediately going to show up in the laning phase, and same with the bot lane. So, no one really given a leash for the junglers. That doesn't actually tell you exactly... Oh,
Adam,
that's a
what
flash!
Was that? Just a flash! He's looking for the hemorrhage stacks. It doesn't have Ignite, and Wunder will be forced away. Now, Wunder can just teleport back in. Doran's double pot is his start, so he can just try and heal up here as well, but...
I am gobsmacked. My mouth is just open right now. Adam just flashed on top of Wunder at level 1 with his W. He was hoping that with the bleed stacks, he would be able to get that kill on Wunder having no flash, but I think that that flash was way too preemptive, way too overconfident, and you know that Razork's like, I'm coming top lane. That is such a prime and easy gank to look for in the early game, and Cinkrof with his pathing. He is hovering around the top side of the map. It looks like that he has done red into Raptors, into Krugs, so he will be able to offer assistance, cover Adam on the bounce, and maybe help him get that wave underneath the tower so that he can look for an early reset.
I'm really annoyed I thought of this as late as I did, but the call should have been Adam, more like Chadam, as he looks for a kill to Wunder in the top lane. Burns his flash level 1, Wunder forced away. And Cinkrof is already looking for this gank, has a flash of his own. Of course, Wunder, no flash on the Gwen, is going to back away. And actually looks like Cinkrof is just shadowing Adam to make sure that Adam can get this wave shoved in.
Yeah, so this is exactly what we talked about. He's basically just here to make sure that Adam is okay. And you can only imagine that Cinkrof, he's just like, hey, really excited to be back here in the LEC. You know, it's going to be great. Going to have a much better time than Origin. And then his top laner flashes at level 1, and he's just sighing, you know, padding up to when he's like, okay, Adam, I guess nothing's changed.
Motivation, improvement, team. Cinkrof just has that mantra going on in his head. There is actually a funny fact about Cinkrof, which is, even though he's not a rookie, because of course he played in 2017 Origin, actually has as many wins in the LEC as all of the rookies.
Oh, you gotta do him like that, eh? You had to go and do him. Flash from Cinkrof.
He misses the Spectral Maw as Razork is able to get away with a flash of his own. Hylissang dancing in and out, and will escape as well.
Very good damage onto Hylissang there. You're seeing the power of the Lucian Nami. But this will give us a great opportunity to talk a little bit about this BDS bot lane. Limit is a player that I think has the respect of a lot of fans here in Europe. Like, I think his time on Schalke, he really showcased what he was capable of. He was a large part of their spring success, where they were able to get 4th during playoffs and was even able to take down Fnatic in 3-0 fashion during the playoffs. And while the summer did not look good, I think that for the entire Schalke roster, it was a very tough season, especially with everything that was happening around Schalke at the time. And I think that with renewed, a very young team, this is a great opportunity for him to showcase again his skills alongside xMatty, a guy that has a lot of success throughout the ERLs, playing for teams like Fnatic Rising and of course K-Corp. He's a player that I think a lot of people have had their eyes on for a while, and now he gets to debut alongside teammates that he is also already very familiar with. So a bot lane, definitely worth keeping your eyes on throughout the regular season of the LEC.
Yeah, it's 2 players that we have seen around for quite a while, and hoping to see xMatty, especially, as a UK player, really rise up and start to challenge some of the other AD carries. No, Alphari and xMatty, I think, the 2 that we have. NUCLEARINT forced away here. He should be able to back, has the teleport. Wunder trading with Adam. Ignite available for the Gwen. Razork will join the fray, but the wind becomes lightning short.
Wunder's going to die.
Yep, as you say, Wunder is very dead. First blood to Adam as he finds the kill. Razork next up. And Adam will help Cinkrof secure it. 2 kills over to BDS to kick this one off.
That was a big misplay there from Wunder. He kept trying to get back to the lane through, well, the lane, rather than going back out in towards the river and then taking the safe route. This then made it very easy for Cinkrof to land the stun, and the Gwen immune was not enough to protect him. So he ends up dropping with no flash available. He ends up losing his life, and while this Gwen may eventually outscale, for the early game, it's going heavily in the favor of BDS up towards the top side.
Yeah, it's fine to be immune from long-range projectiles, but against a Darius, it doesn't help too much. Unsurprisingly, the axe is a short-range weapon, unless you're pretty accurate with throwing it.
And again here, we can see that Wunder takes a pretty bad trade, right? So then he tries, and at this point he should just walk away, but no, he walks back up into the lane. Then he very quickly realizes, I'm in danger, throws the immune out, but it's too little, too late. Cinkrof is able to land the stun. Adam gets that initial kill, and now you're finding a Gwen and a Darius, and Razork with no flash ends up losing his life.
It's a big early win there for the BDS top side of the map. Mercury Treads finish for Adam as well with the double Doran's Blade. He wants to be aggressive. Limit flashing away there. Oh, it's because Humanoid was on his way down. He just moved out of the mid lane and had, of course, that Destiny available. And the Fnatic mid laners in this Twisted Fate, synonymous, it seems, these days. And, of course, Humanoid on Mad Lions last year had an incredible performance on it every time he brought it out.
Already doing very well in the laning phase. Humanoid maintaining his moniker for the time being as best mid. xMatty taking a lot of damage there, but does have Cinkrof to back him up, so he doesn't use any summoner spells. Jungler just going to come and help him clear out that wave so we can look for a reset. I love that Cinkrof does this. Great tip for any solo queue junglers, because sometimes waves are in that very awkward space where you want to push them underneath the tower, but you can't because you don't quite have enough health and mana. And having your jungler just come and help shove in the wave, you don't have to gank, you don't have to try and make something happen, but just adding that extra number to shove the wave underneath the tower, very beneficial for your laners. So as a jungler, keep an eye out for it. It can be very, very valuable.
Of course, the reason you want to do that as well is if you don't, the enemy team can freeze the wave in front of their tower, and then you are just losing CS and you can't step forward, especially if you're someone like Limit in that situation and you burnt your flash on the Nami. What are you meant to do if you get 3-man ganked, if you have Humanoid coming down as well? You don't want to be over-pushed towards the enemy tower. For the moment, though, both these teams are relatively odds even, about 300 gold between them. Adam has a slight lead in this top lane. You can see both the top laners, they want to run back to this lane and fight even quicker, so it's boots all around, play his steel caps into Merc Treads.
So we didn't talk about it, but Lethal Tempo is the rune choice for Adam.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because this is the one I would expect Conqueror on, but I guess the idea is that for each auto attack, you build that attack speed, and then you not only get the additional range, which will help with, you know, because one of his big problem is getting kited, right? But also you just apply those max stacks ever so slightly faster, building you up for that execute that comes from your ultimate. So interesting adaptation that we're seeing from Adam in terms of the slight changes to the runes, and already early on in the game, it's proved very fruitful.
It definitely has. Adam, like an early 2000s rapper, stacks on stacks for him.
Yeah, good one. Hilarious.
Look, mate, I got to get all the bad ones out at the start of the season so I don't do them in playoffs, you know? I still think Tutu was an incredible joke.
Well, someone did. Look at this, Humanoid moving into the river, moving into Fog. That threat that you have from the global. And this is Fnatic playing around their bot side of the map. Makes sense, given the position that Wunder's in right now. It's also one of those situations where once you die to a Darius once, it's scary to go there again.
Yeah.
Because even though right now he only has boots, it's still, he's level 8. He's tied for the highest level in the game alongside the 2 mid laners. And Darius is just scary. He's very capable of turning around 2v1s thanks to the heal that he gets from his Q. And if he stacks up that passive enough, the damage can be lethal. So I respect that Fnatic for the time being just wants to play away from him. They know that the later the game goes, Darius just gets harder to play, especially without Ghost, because it's very easy to kite the champion. xMatty now could be in a bit of danger.
Hylissang gonna jump forward. Good dodge away from xMatty there. Just dashes out of the vicinity. That means he's able to escape it. Just coming back to that Darius point, Adam actually working his way down here. A lot of people forget how much extra AD, bonus AD you get from Darius passive. If you have 5 stacks on someone, you get Noxian Might, and at level 8, that is an extra 65 bonus AD you're getting in that trade. So even if he hasn't built the stats are coming in these extended trades. Cinkrof on his way down towards the bottom lane, already level 8, a 2-level advantage for the BDS jungler. Hylissang and Upset will be able to escape, but Cinkrof having the rule of the roost in this jungle role at the moment.
Do you know, it makes me laugh that Adam, he was a player that would roam mid, TP bot. He was very about playing for the team at the cost
level
of his
4
own lane.
TP bot, all of them.
And one of the things that I joked about was that when the TP changes happened was that Fnatic would be in shambles because they're a team that often likes to play towards the bot side of the map. But Adam was a player that whenever he had TP up, he would often use TP to bot. Yep. So he's like, I will not let that stop me. I will instead just walk bot, and then I can use my TP to go back to top if I need to. But for now, it looks like that they're actually choosing to swap. They're actually going to put Adam in the 2 versus 1. And actually have the duo play towards the top side of the map. I'm a little surprised that they would choose to do this.
Especially with Rift Herald down, because we used to see this around, you know, the 7:30, 8-minute mark when you play for the Rift Herald, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, there are a couple of reasons why sometimes this would happen. Perhaps their main goal is to play towards that top plate. Perhaps they want to try and make an early play for it. We'll just keep track of them and see what happens.
Humanoid is on his way. Limit flashes away. Was back up. Has been down for the majority of the game, but just come back up there for Limit, and Humanoid, even with the Destiny, wasn't able to get in range of a gold card.
And have a look at this. Fnatic have decided to match the swap. They've sent Wunder down to the bot lane. And this is great for Wunder right now because Adam just uses TP top lane. So he now, well, they know where he is. He's either reset or he's hovering around them. Hilly. Going to be fine for the time being, but that means that there's a very open lane for Wunder to TP to, so he TPs straight to bot. Adam should now start losing a lot of farm, and you can start to see that CS discrepancy starting to build between the two. So that early kill that Adam was able to get, slowly starting to lose value. And now we understand the swap a little more, wanting to use that Rift Tower to try and secure this early tower.
Humanoid's going to be on a ward here. Limit now was caught out, doesn't have the flash, of course, that was used earlier. Gold card locked in, they're looking for Limit, instead goes for Cinkrof. Hylissang diving forward, still has the quickness. Adam with the flash apprehend though, and against his former teammate, Adam gets the kill. Humanoid down.
Beautifully done there from Adam, committing the flash to finding another pick. They will not be able to get themselves a tower, but they get themselves plates and they get themselves a kill. Now Wunder versus NUCLEARINT.
Yep, that was that.
That was an intense 1v1.
I mean, I said at the start of the game, it's time for Adam to leave the words off the Rift, like, and show up, you know, actually have a strong performance. And he's doing exactly that right here. 2-0 with 1 assist to boot. Humanoid tries to get a flank position in, has that gold card locked, but Adam is just very willing to flash forward and get this apprehend.
Yeah, Humanoid, he makes that step up, which just puts him in a position to be in range of the flash apprehend. Ends up getting locked up, and the rest of Fnatic can't really follow up. So BDS leading in kills, leading in gold. No, well, a Drake has dropped yet, but it was Fnatic that got the first Drake because they traded the Drake for the Herald, I do remember. And BDS currently setting up for the next Drake. They've brought their bot lane back down as Cinkrof now lands a stun onto Wunder.
I mean, as much as Adam is having great performance, so is Cinkrof.
Yeah.
He's level 10, highest level in the game on the jungle right now, alongside Humanoid and NUCLEARINT. Cinkrof having a stellar performance. Humanoid's going to lock in this gold cup, but Cinkrof uses the Heartbreaker to get away. Hylissang will not follow up on the chase, and Fnatic at the moment look very wounded. Destiny popped Humanoid Works his way down towards the bottom side, lands the stun onto xMatty. That's the root follow-up, and here comes Hylissang with the quickness, but immediately he's stunned. Does manage to pick up xMatty on the back line. Razork and Upset now pushing forward. Humanoid has a gold card lock once again, but Cinkrof is able to flash across the wall. And all the while, Adam has been pushing in the top lane.
Wow, so BDS are doing surprisingly well, you know, and it comes back to what you were talking about largely from Cinkrof. He finds that initial pick onto Wunder, and then Adam, knowing that he doesn't have any summoner spells to take advantage of, he's like, okay, I'll just keep pushing top. I'll just keep pushing, keep providing this point of threat. And BDS now find themselves with the first tower of the game. The Drake ends up falling short because BDS lost their AD carry, but across the map, they played very well around their top side. They've done an excellent job of just enabling Adam. And I think we're starting to see, a TP towards the bot side of the map. NUCLEARINT looking for a pick.
So Hylissang has no flash, but does have the battle dance. Upset's going to have to flash away from the chains. The NUCLEARINT unwilling to invest the second one. May have already used the Mimic.
For one, though.
Yeah.
We'll get both out from Upset. And while he has been doing extremely well in his lane, a very good farm in general. Oh, xMatty.
Humanoid with the Everfrost, but there's the tidal wave coming out. Ooh, just clips his heels as Humanoid's able to escape the tsunami in the mid lane.
Hits him with the emote. Will be able to walk away to safety as Fnatic is securing themselves their first Rift Tower of the goal. Oh! Beautifully played there by NUCLEARINT.
Humanoid had flash.
I know, he did, but he thought he could sidestep that. He thought he had the swaggity swooshoos, but he did not. NUCLEARINT finds himself a quick kill. What, you don't?
What type of shoes?
You don't have swaggity swoo shoes.
Oh, the swaggity swoo shoes.
The swaggity swoop.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Swaggity swoop swoop doobity woo. Yeah. It's the sound effects you make when you're boogieing.
So I've listened to Wildfire. Are you also the scat man?
Yeah.
Like your spare time?
Yeah. Yeah, scabbity woo. Yeah. It's what you do when you're like shimmying, you know, moving your feet, moving to the music.
Wait, isn't Shimmer from Arcane? I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love Arcane. xMatty looking for Upset here. Look at the Gale Force damage. Hylissang pops the quickness to try and get in. We'll be able to use it in the end. There's the Destiny, and there's the Root, and there's xMatty going down. Upset able to survive long enough to have reinforcements arrive. Rift Held used by Razork as well.
You don't know about... I mean, you should know, because Fnatic, you're not allowed to attack their AD carry without comeuppance. And the immediate response from the rest of Fnatic. Hylissang there to provide peel for his AD. The ultimate comes through from Humanoids, and Razork there for extra measure, but he's not really needed as Fnatic get themselves another pick onto the AD carry. The only deaths the BDS hold for the time being, xMatty making a couple of rookie errors, but that's okay. His team's still in a great position. They will secure their first Drake of the game, and they will maintain the gold lead. The map really starting to open up now as towers are falling across the board. And things are only getting more tense.
And of course, it does benefit Fnatic when the map opens up a little bit because of Humanoid's ability to get towards fights a little bit quicker with the Destiny. However, you look at how Cinkrof has been playing and reading the map, you look at how NUCLEARINT has been playing and reading the map, and you wonder if Fnatic can utilize this Destiny enough to actually shut down the power that BDS has developed in this early game.
It's a big question. You can see that NUCLEARINT, level 12, sitting on a side lane, 170 CS. Didn't have the strongest of performances on Schalke, but again, that Schalke roster went through a lot last split, and this is, again, his fresh start on a fresh new roster. So far, he's playing pretty well. Has that slight edge over Humanoid, was able to get that kill onto him earlier. 170 CS, highest level in the game. And BDS are looking good. I think many people coming into this game expected a one-sided affair, you know? They expected Fnatic to be the very clear favorites. Many people consider Fnatic to be the LEC favorites to win the whole thing, you know? They were able to get second last split, and many people considered them to have made upgrades in both jungle and top. But I also read some comments where they were like, clearly you haven't watched Fnatic in week 1 before. I'll be happy if they get a 1-2 performance.
Week 2 is where they wake up, usually.
But like, I don't know how true that is. I tried looking into it. They don't act, they're week 1.
World's joke.
That is a great point. That is a great point. That makes more sense. But domestically, I know they've had a couple of bad.
Average, right?
Yeah, it's they're kind of in the middle. Sometimes they have really good, sometimes they have really bad. So I guess you could say that you don't know which Fnatic you're gonna get in week 1 of the LEC. And right now, I don't think they're playing particularly badly, but I think that Adam came to make a statement And it looks like Fnatic have decided to attack him.
I mean, the thing is, Humanoid has Destiny here, right? So Adam is just in a world of hurt. TP came out as well. There's the Destiny chase, but the rest of Fnatic are on their way. Like, BDS are entirely on the other side of the map. The Evos is going to come in for the root. Adam maybe will be able to pick up a 1-for-1 here, but he just can't do that. The shutdown comes out, goes over to Humanoid, and this is what we talked about with the open map. It's so much easier for Fnatic to collapse quickly on a single point.
But I love what Cinkrof is doing right now. Immediately recognizes where the Fnatic players are. Look, he's just taking the entire bot side of Razork's jungle, and Razork is trying to do the same on the top side. But there aren't really any camps for you to take, my friend. This is only putting Cinkrof further and further ahead. He was a jungler that many people had their eyes on coming into the LEC, and you can see his awareness, his read of the map, his knowing how to play around lanes. Like we did talk about it in the other game, right? He covered for Adam when he flashed at level 1. He helped his bot lane shove in that wave. He's done a great job, 160 CS. He's matching Humanoid in the farm department, and now he's looking for a pick.
He is down towards the bottom side. Adam actually looking for Wunder. His NUCLEARINT comes in as well, and Wunder might be on the receiving end of that gank. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Humanoid just about able to get away. Spectral Maw still going to get the stun. Gold card locked in. Humanoid alive. Already, Wunder is down, and there's the shutdown for Cinkrof as well. In a 1v1, the jungler wins out.
Level 13 for Cinkrof. Oh, but he may have overstayed his welcome. Upset has now joined the fray. Razork is trying to cut off his escape route. Cinkrof is just farming as much as possible.
Oh, there's the Gale Force to make sure that Cinkrof couldn't die to the tower. Tries to turn it back around on Upset, and Upset, as an AD carry, had no mana there, but was still able, with the help of his teammates, to pick up the kill.
He was also reloading, which was that awkward situation.
You got no mana, you got no bullets!
Yeah, just give me a second, let me just reload my gun. And Cinkrof, I love the fact that he was just trying to clear the wave as much as possible there, which basically completely alienates and limits anything that Fnatic can do. But what an impressive game one so far from BDS. They've been able to come out ahead in the laning phase. They are a little bit behind in objectives in the early game. They are even in Drakes. We'll be having the Hextech Rift for our final game of the day. And the Soul basically gives you, I always think of it as static shiv. It does apply a slow as well.
And true damage.
Yeah, but that's kind of, it's that item that it always reminds me of, like, it's the static shiv.
And of course, each Drake you pick up gets you attack speed and ability haste.
Attack speed and ability haste. So
strong on both teams.
Jhin is sad.
Jhin is sad, although ability haste, of course, can help out just a little bit. Hylissang maybe a little bit sad here as well, as BDS collapsed 4 members strong in the mid lane. But for the moment, Hylissang able to dodge and dance and weave his way out of danger.
So BDS quite clearly looking to try and contest this mid tier 1, whereas Humanoid is attacking the tier 2 in the top lane. Pops out the ultimate so he can get himself to safety. That's the advantage. You can kind of put yourself in kind of dangerous situations because you have that. Rise can do a very similar thing, but now they know exactly where he is.
Oh, Limit. Oh, Limit. He has got flash. NUCLEARINT was waiting just around the river bend there to jump in and tank a shot. Humanoid actually going to TP in here as well. Dragon up, as you say, and we are in a really interesting situation with Hextech Gates because what you can do is flash in as Adam without even needing the gate. Stopwatch pop by Humanoid. NUCLEARINT having to jump away. Cinkrof and Wunder fighting down towards the bottom side. xMatty flashing away as well as Razork continues to push forward. It's Adam versus all of Fnatic, and Fnatic win that fight. Cinkrof able to do some damage to Wunder on the bottom side of the fight, but Wunder is very healthy now as Fnatic find 2 kills. And BDS are only able to pick up 1.
That fight initially looked very promising for BDS with the flash engage from Adam, with the amount of damage that he was soaking up. But while Adam was on the front line, the back line was getting absolutely melted. NUCLEARINT was forced out of the fight extremely quickly. xMatty was forced out just as fast. Let's have a look back at how this engage starts. So this is where things really started off. Remember that a lot of ultimates are not available due to a little skirmish that happened earlier on in the mid lane. This means that Limit's forced out of the fight already, so he's already very low. And then Fnatic is saying, hey, look, we know the Drake is spawning, but it is Adam that decides to commit to the fight. And then keep your eyes on NUCLEARINT here. He loses so much HP from Upset and Razork with great target focus. Meanwhile, Humanoid's just trying to buy time as much as he can. Adam does end up getting that kill, but at the cost of at the cost of his AD carry and at the cost of the Drake. So Fnatic still showcasing, okay, we might be a little bit behind in gold, we're a little bit behind in the kills, but we still are very strong in the fights, and a lot of that is coming down to Upset. And of course, Razork with his good engages.
Upset already sitting on the Gale Force Collector Zeal combination. This tower would fall over at a gnat's breath. Basically knocked over by the wind at any moment, but for the moment, Fnatic continue to try and hold strong around it, try and continue to hold that gold in their pockets. NUCLEARINT wants a little piece of the action. Breaks down the tower, third of the game for BDS. About 1,000 gold between these two teams as we perhaps look for another fight here. Razork does step forward. NUCLEARINT looking for the double distortion, misses the chains, and Razork able to dodge to the side of it. Cinkrof pushing in once again. Hylissang with the quickness. A possible engage opportunity for him. Stun card, used onto Adam. Everfrost coming out as well, and Wunder going in. There's the quickness. Adam on the back line. It's a 4-man quickness from Hilly. What can this man not do? And as the curtains come down, BDS find themselves dead behind them. Destiny popped by Humanoid. The stun card locked once again. And all you gotta say for xMatty is that's 3 deaths on the day.
There is a reason why Fnatic's Hylissang is famous for his Rakan. What an amazing engage onto the entire BDS team to shut them down, set them up, and allow Fnatic to win the team fight. This will be the Baron, and this will be control. Beautiful stuff from Fnatic support.
And what a fight for Fnatic, getting 3 for 0. And there is the Baron as well. Now the gold lead, 2,000 ahead for them. First time in the game, it feels that they have been in that advantageous position. And Wunder, even though he was set so far behind in the early game, ahead on CS, ahead in terms of itemization, and Fnatic now can use these Hextech gates to get around the map even faster. Of course, when you have Baron getting towards your lanes, getting those pushing in as rapidly as possible is of the utmost importance.
Fnatic want to use this Baron to get as much as they can. If they can break into the base, that would be fantastic. But I think Fnatic, with their composition, they can very easily play through 3 lanes if they want to, but it looks like for now they're going to stick to 2. They'll leave Twisted Fate to just clear 1. They'll have the remaining members group up and push the other. I like this. Fnatic just clearing out some of the vision of a potential flank, but they didn't quite catch that one ward. Still just outside the tri-bush. Does mean that Adam and NUCLEARINT could look for a flanking TP, as Fnatic now set up their siege for the tier 2 turrets.
It would be the longest flank in the world if Adam was to go all the way down towards that bottom ward. Humanoid does have the Unleashed teleport, so could join this fight in about 2.5 seconds if he was so required, but Fnatic willing just to take the tier 2 and then back away. I wonder if we're getting towards a possible bounty situation, objective bounty for BDS. Not quite there yet, but usually, about 4,000, 5,000 gold at about these totals would be enough to get us across that line.
For the time being, it does not look like it. We'll see as things progress. Fnatic in a very commanding position right now. Props to the Fnatic bot lane, 0 deaths. A very impressive performance in game 1.
Hylissang using the Shurelias to get the wave to the tower quicker so they can cut off Limit and NUCLEARINT. This is the support I aspired to be, I'll be honest. Hylissang is an absolute monster, and because of that, BDS just don't have time to react. They can't even walk round towards their own inhibitor tower, and because of that, it falls. Fnatic now knocking on the inhibitor itself. Razork diving in, they're looking for NUCLEARINT. There's the charm, there's the knock-up, and there's the CC chain that Fnatic have found. Wunder dives onto xMatty. Adam finally rejoins his fight. The curtain call opens up, and the shots aren't quite able to connect. xMatty gets back to Fountain. Fnatic get the hell out of the base with an inhibitor down, but they might look for even more. Adam stunned up, Wunder stepping forward, apprehended back, but Wunder could just dance his way away from this one, skip and slash his way to victory perhaps. But Fnatic once again, now 5,000 gold ahead.
Well, that's a great utilization of the Baron. Fnatic able to break into the base. They get themselves a big pick, and the dragon is going to be spawned just in the right time. This will bring Fnatic to 3 dragons. And it's just crazy how quickly this game turned on its head. A single engage from Hylissang into a huge team fight, got them the Baron, and then all of a sudden Fnatic have complete control. And that's sometimes all it takes, That is why this bot lane is regarded so highly. That engage from Hylissang, 207, has been involved in 9 of Fnatic's 10 kills. A great debut for him. And I think many Fnatic fans will be happy because, Hylissang, he has quite a varied reputation,
I think he has the reputation of he's a coin flip.
Yes.
Right? Either he plays incredibly well, or he kind of, trying to play incredibly well,
I believe that Hylissang is the type of player that believes that the only way you can win a game is by doing something.
Yeah.
And even if you're from behind, you need to make, you know, it's that copy paste that, you know, if I am ahead, then Hylissang needs to
when
engage.
Fnatic are 10,000 gold behind, ahead, Hylissang thinks it's super position. It was originally an RNG player. I think it was SOFM, and it got flamed last time for not saying there was originally a Chinese player. So I'm going to put that out there. I can't remember what Chinese player it was. But if you want to flame anyone for not remembering it, it was Vedi.
I'm just talking about the copy pasta.
Vedi can't remember whose copy pasta it is.
I don't know the origin of all copy pastas.
According to Twitter, we should.
You know, I've made a few myself. Not intentionally. Now, the mid wave is going to continue to push in for Fnatic. They currently are grouping up as a 5-man to threaten this top tier 2. They have the long-range stun card from Twisted Fate. They're going to use that to get a bit of chip damage onto Adam.
Adam already down to half HP as he tries to get away.
Good tidal wave
get the shield from the Sterak's tidal wave, as you say, for the disengage, but Wunder continues to step forward. It was MLXG, by the way, I've just remembered. No flame Twitter.
I don't know what you're talking about at this point, but that's fine. The ultimate there from Limit was really well timed, because just as Hylissang was flashing in to engage, he was about to get a 3-man charm knockup, but the tidal wave just interrupts him and just keeps him outside of that charm range, which means that he's not able to quite find that engage. But Fnatic get the turret. They know that they can reset, and they can just continue to take their time. They can continue to play through the side lanes. Again, I want to highlight props to Cinkrof. I think overall he's had a very good game. He was able to get that kill onto Humanoid in the bot lane. The way he played around the early lanes has been really good, and I'm really excited to see what he can do this split, because already in his debut, I think he showcased a lot. And when he was on KC, Carmine Corp, I think he already showcased during the ERLs that he was a very capable jungler and was one worth watching.
I definitely agree with you there. I think his early game was very strong, and his pathing was very intelligent. And so, obviously, the game becomes more of a team coordination, team play, as the time ticks away. And Hylissang has just been so strong with these engages, so powerful, so well positioned. It's been very difficult for BDS to react to that. I think xMatty as well has had a little bit of a struggle of a game, you know, a couple of times being caught out, 4 deaths so far. It's kind of to be expected for your first LEC game. Now, Fnatic setting up around the Baron. I understand the timers in the top corners are a little bit off. Baron is alive, even though it says 255 in the top corner. Shirelli is coming out from Hylissang, has the quickness, can dance his way into the fight. Tidal wave used for the disengage. Humanoid once again able to dodge just at the edge of it. Wunder getting onto the back line. Adam, the target for him. Stopwatch, gold card coming in. There's a shutdown. Wunder down. Adam healing up so much with that Decimate. And Razork now in full world of hurt as the Noxian Guillotine is brought down. And Fnatic stepped a little bit too greedily there. Hylissang never able to find the engage. Heartbreaker chase. Spectrum more available for Cinkrof, but he can't quite get in range to land it onto upset. Fnatic, 3 players left alive, will have to retreat. Will they fight around this Baron? Because at the moment, Adam, it looks like they just want to kill Adam over and over again. They find it. Hylissang going in with the quickness. Will get onto limit. Resurrection coming out for Cinkrof as his GA will pop. Nuclear in, misses the chains, but upset. Dies to a Nami, ebb and flow. Limit with the clutches of heals into kills there as upset falls, and now Hylissang last man standing for Fnatic as they went too deep and have paid the price.
They certainly have, Medic. A massive turnaround for BDS, and one which they are happily going to take. Let's have a look back as to exactly how this came to be. So, the important thing to note is Wunder's position here. So notice that he is on the right side of this wall with the majority of the Fnatic on the left. They get split up by the Nami tidal wave, but now Wunder's starting a fight, basically 1v4. The bubble comes through, he can't pop his W, then gets one shot. Razork then tries to come in from behind and protect him, but Jhin is just throwing the ultimate out while Razork is effectively left alone in a 1v5. Humanoid is too low to be able to offer any assistance, and so they end up falling short. Now Fnatic, knowing that they still have 3 members alive, and BDS have to reset to try and answer the minion waves, end up trying to commit, but they end up losing Adam's life. As a result of that, they end up getting a couple more kills. Anyway, Dragon now spawned.
I mean, importantly, Fnatic could lose Soul as well from this. Like, this is not Soul point, as you say, for BDS, but it was a possibility that they could have that Hextech Soul. Instead, BDS get the attack speed and the ability haste, get the Baron. That will remain on them for about 1.5 minutes more, I believe, as they now push 5 members strong, Vedi, down towards this bottom lane. And Fnatic, who were many people's favorites, at least to win this game, if not to be near the top of the table, or challenging for the title at the end of the season, right now are rocked on their heels by the newcomers to the league, BDS.
What a huge game one this could be. I mean, Fnatic, oh, they're at death's door right now. Wunder getting good damage onto NUCLEARINT. Here comes the curtain call.
Now, Humanoid wasn't really in range to pop the Destiny here, but Adam now on the front line pops the stopwatch himself. Hylissang got the quickness, got the flash, looking for Adam. Serak's shield will not be enough to save him. Needlework, double charm! Oh, Hylissang, you absolute beauty! Wunder picks up the double kill, but Hylissang once again is the man making all the plays for Fnatic as he finds his mark, and now the Hextech Gates will get Wunder, well, on top of where NUCLEARINT once was.
And it was looking so good for BDS with the Baron buff, with the Siege. They looked like they were going to make the upset happen in their debut game, but they end up falling short. The team fight doesn't go quite the way they want it, but that is good damage onto Razork, and BDS, they have not given up just yet. This inhibitor will likely fall, but the question is, can Fnatic end the game? They have all 5 members running down mid. Can
NUCLEARINT clear out this wave? That cannon minion actually being distracted a little bit. BDS unable to clear it right now. First Nexus Tower falls, the redemption to heal up the minions as well as NUCLEARINT dives in and dies immediately. Wunder takes him. He goes on a killing spree, and it will take the Nexus as well as Fnatic take down BDS.
Definitely some shaky moments
you don't say.
In that game for Fnatic. They looked like they were being punished in the early game. Wunder still a little shaky for sure. But overall, the bot lane of Fnatic coming up clutch. The engages from Hylissang, the damage coming out from Upset. More often than not, that was enough to be able to turn it around. But BDS, I think, really showcased what they are capable of. As you rightly said, xMatty not having the best first game. A difficult opponent in the bot lane, admittedly, but the top side of the map looks very promising. NUCLEARINT having a really strong laning phase, transitioning well into the side lanes. There's good potential here for BDS. I like what we're seeing already. Hopefully they can maintain that, and we can see more in the development from Grabs as the coaching staff behind them works with this young roster.
It'll be very interesting to see how they develop across the course of spring. Your key player of the game votes at LEC on Twitter. Razork, Upset, and Hylissang. Come on, come on, guys. Come on, it's obvious. It's obvious. Now, Laure is standing by with Fnatic's new and Victoria jungler, Razork. We'll hear from her in just a moment because I saw Razork there looking at his computer after the game, and he seemed a little bit like he was a bit perturbed by how he played the game. And when you look at how the game went, like Cinkrof got 2-level lead. He had a much stronger early game. I wonder if Razork is a little, not concerned, but a little frustrated.
Well, the top side of the map did not go the way that they wanted it to. So I imagine that he's going to feel an element of frustration off the back of that. Razork, though, he is a player that likes to be aggressive in the early game. I know that he's a player that has a lot of potential, and I'm sure that we'll only see continued growth with him from this Fnatic roster, as we did similarly to last split. So starting off the split with a win is definitely something that Fnatic is likely going to be pretty happy with.
You're always happy with a win, even if your own performance wasn't quite up to scratch. Now, Laure is ready with Razork, so let's hear it from him himself instead of from us. Who wants to hear from us? No one.
Thank you, Medic and Razork. Thank you so much for joining me. It's the first time we see you in the LEC with different colors, as you played for 2 years with Misfits. So I'm interested in the role you have now within the Fnatic lineup, being surrounded by experienced players.
I think, my role in the team, we're still trying to adapt of what we think is working the best for us. And I feel like with the roster I have, I just feel like I have to do less in the mid game, and I have to focus more in the early game and try to get my team ahead, because I have a lot of strong voices in the team like Hyli and Humanoid that they are actually doing a lot of work. So I just need to put my team ahead, and then the macro game and stuff, they will help me a lot, and I'm also improving in the macro with them. So I feel that's the way we are approaching the game right now.
Interesting. And when you think of Fnatic, only 2 players remain from the lineup we knew from last year. So I want to know what do you want for Fnatic in terms of identity for the team? What are you guys trying to build?
I want to be aggressively playing aggressive but smart. That's what I think we all want to play the game. We don't want to be like randomly taking every fight like we did actually like this game. Wunder and me, we had a lot of miscommunication in the top side, and everything went a bit chaotic, but I think we are fixing that. And yeah, I think that's what we want to do for the next month.
It always takes time to adjust to new lineup, new synergy, and you managed to pick up the win in the opening match for you guys, so I guess that's a good news. A question that I had is about Fnatic itself, because you guys have been described as one of the 2 super teams we have in the LEC this year alongside Vitality. How does that make you feel?
Of course, it gives like extra pressure because we have a lot of good players and good names in the history of the LEC. So I understand that people consider us like a super team, but I think we need time to understand each other's view of the game. And I think if we adjust properly, I think we can actually be a really, really strong team.
And now, last question about you, Razork. This is going to be your 3rd year in the LEC. Any personal goals in terms of playstyle, attitude as a player? What do you want to be?
I think I want to get the most out of the roster I have. I want to learn a lot. And in terms of like goals, I want to actually win the LEC. That will be the best. Going Worlds is like a must, at least for Fnatic. And I've never went to Worlds. So that's my goals for this year.
All right. Well, looking forward to seeing more of Fnatic in action this year in the LEC. That's all for us now, Razork, on this side of the stage. Thank you so much for the interview. Good luck on the game tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back with the post-game lobby with Upset. Stay tuned.